chosen one. You didn't find this message. This message found you. Right now, at this exact hour, someone is lying in bed with the lights off, staring at the ceiling, too exhausted to cry and too broken to pray. Their body aches. Their savings are thinner than they've ever been. Their phone hasn't rung in 3 days. And the cruelest part? They've been faithful. They've been good. They've shown up for God, even when God felt silent. That someone is you. You have carried pain so long, it stopped feeling like a burden. It started feeling like your name. But heaven is interrupting tonight to say that is not your name. That was never your name. Your suffering was never your final address. Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to say will either shock you or set you free, and I'm believing God for both. Tonight is not another message. Tonight is not inspiration dressed up in scripture. Tonight is a divine surgical moment. While the world sleeps, God works the night shift. And he doesn't come to patch you. He comes to operate. Some of you don't need encouragement. You need a total reset. And before this message ends, I'm going to show you the exact sign that proves God has already walked into your situation and quietly changed your settings without asking anyone's permission. You thought you were buried. You weren't buried. You were preserved. There is a difference between a grave and a storm cellar. One holds the dead. The other protects the chosen until the storm passes. Your storm is passing tonight. Not because time finally ran out, not because you prayed the right words, but because God, the Ancient of Days, the one who sets seasons and shatters cycles, has decided that tonight is the night he moves. This is not the night you break down. This is the night heaven breaks the cycle. If this word found you at the exact moment you needed it, and you know it did, type this right now. My pain ends tonight. Stay with me. What God is revealing comes in layers, and the last layer is the one that changes everything. Let me ask you something that nobody in your life has been brave enough to ask you. How long have you been carrying this? Not the physical pain, not just the financial pressure. I mean the weight underneath all of it. The quiet voice that whispers in the middle of the night. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe God moved on without me. Maybe I prayed too late, believed too little, waited too long. How long have you been secretly wondering if heaven forgot your address? Because that question, that silent, shameful, exhausting question, is exactly what God sent this message to answer tonight. Here is a truth that will either offend you or completely set you free. Your pain was not a punishment, it was protection. I know that sounds impossible when you're standing in the middle of it. I know it sounds hollow when the bills are real, when the loneliness is real, when the diagnosis was real, when the people who were supposed to stay left. I am not minimizing a single thing you walked through, but I need you to hear this with your spirit, not just your mind. God does not waste suffering. He warehouses it. He locks it in a vault. Your tears, your unanswered prayers, your silent 3 a.m. moments. And he marks that vault with your name, not to forget it, to release it at the appointed hour with interest. Look at Joseph, thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold like property, wrongfully imprisoned, forgotten by the very man he helped. 13 years, chosen one, 13 years between the promise and the palace. Was Joseph being punished? No, he was being positioned. Every pit was a classroom, every prison was a preparation room, and the very people who tried to destroy him became the instruments God used to deliver him to the exact place his destiny required. Look at David, anointed king as a teenager, then sent back to tend sheep. Years of obscurity, years of caves and wilderness, and being hunted like an animal by the very king he served faithfully. Nobody was applauding. Nobody was watching. The root system of David's greatness grew in the dark. Look at Moses, 40 years in the desert, quota years. By every human calculation, his best days were behind him. Then God showed up in a burning bush and said, "I'm just getting started." And Job, righteous Job, who did everything right and still lost everything, who cried out to heaven and heard silence, who sat in ashes and refused to curse God, not because the pain wasn't real, but because something deep in his spirit knew that silence is not the same as absence. Chosen one. What looked like lost decades in your life, those years you feel you can never get back, may have been the very years God used to keep you from collapsing under blessings you were not yet built to carry. You cannot put a harvest on a shallow root system. You cannot build a skyscraper on a foundation that hasn't fully set. A winter field looks dead. Everything above the surface looks finished, gone, wasted. But underneath, the ground is storing everything it needs to explode into life the moment the season changes. Your season is changing tonight. Let me speak directly to my older listeners for just a moment. Some of you are in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and the enemy has been whispering the cruelest lie imaginable, that you are too old for a comeback, that your window has closed, that the best you can do now is manage, decline gracefully. That is not scripture. That is sabotage. Abraham received his promise at 100 years old. Anna the prophetess waited in the temple for decades, and she was the first human soul to hold the Messiah and declare who he was. God did not retire her. God refined her. Your age is not a disqualification. It is a credential. Every year you survived, what should have broken you is another layer of authority being added to your testimony. You were not overlooked. You were covered. You were not behind. You were hidden. And there is a profound difference between being hidden by the enemy and being hidden by God. When the enemy hides something, it's to destroy it. When God hides something, he is preserving it for a moment the enemy cannot interrupt. That moment is now. There are 5 specific areas where God is moving in your life tonight. 5 places the enemy hit hardest. 5 doors that are beginning to open starting before this message ends. I'm not ready to name them yet, because before you can receive what's coming, you need to fully release what's been holding you. But they're coming. Stay with me. Right now, before we go one step further, take a breath, breathe in, and say it out loud, wherever you are. God did not abandon me in my pain. Say it like you mean it. Say it like your next season depends on it. Because chosen one, it does. Let me ask you something nobody else has asked you lately. When was the last time someone actually sat with you in your pain? Not to fix it, not to quote scripture at it, not to tell you to just trust God and change the subject, but to simply sit with you in it. Because here's what I know about you. You have mastered the art of the morning smile. You walk into that room, that church, that family gathering, and you perform. You laugh at the right moments. You say, "I'm blessed," when someone asks how you're doing. And the moment you get back to your car, back to your bedroom, back to that quiet corner of your apartment on the 14th floor, the mask comes off. And the weight of everything you've been carrying hits you like a wall. You've been talking to God at 3 in the morning when the rest of the world is sleeping. Not with elegant prayers, not with the kind of words that sound good in a sermon, with gasps, with silence, with tears running sideways across your face because you're lying down and you're too tired to sit up and cry properly. You've swallowed humiliation that no one saw. You smiled at people who betrayed you. You kept showing up for family members who never once showed up for you. You gave to a church that never gave back. You trusted friends who quietly disappeared when your season got hard. And through all of it, through every single piece of it, you kept praying. Not because it felt powerful, because it was the only thing left. Psalm 56:8 says, God collects every one of your tears in a bottle. He writes them in his book. That is not poetry. That is evidence. Every tear you cried alone in that bathroom, every 3 a.m. prayer that felt like it dissolved into the ceiling, every time you bit your tongue when you deserved to scream, every moment you chose grace when bitterness would have been so much easier. God was not absent. God was archiving. Heaven keeps records that earth cannot access. And here is what nobody talks about in church on Sunday morning. There is a fatigue that goes deeper than the body. Your knees ache, yes. Your back gives you trouble, yes. But that is not the fatigue that is breaking you. The fatigue breaking you is soul fatigue, the exhaustion of believing for years and watching other people's prayers get answered while yours sit in what feels like a waiting room with no number being called. The fatigue of being the strong one, the one everyone calls, the one who holds it together for the grandchildren, for the children, for the neighbors, for the congregation, and then goes home to an apartment so quiet it echoes. That kind of loneliness does not have a name in most conversations, but it has a name in heaven, and God calls it sacred suffering. Isaiah 43:2 declares, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you." Not if you pass through. When? God never promised you a life without fire. He promised you He would be in the fire with you. And here is the part that will stay with you long after this message ends. The fire was not trying to destroy your voice. The fire was recording it. Every cry that went up from that furnace was amplified in ways you cannot imagine. Your pain was not noise. Your pain was not weakness. Your pain became a language that heaven understood perfectly, even when no human being on this earth could translate what you were going through. The nights you thought nobody saw you were the nights heaven was taking notes. Your pain was not wasted. It became testimony material. And here is the part most people never understand. The pain was also recording data. Every scar on your spirit remembers what it survived. And healed wounds carry something that unbroken things cannot carry. They carry authority. The authority of someone who went through the fire and came out still breathing, still believing, still here. I am not ready to tell you the full meaning of that yet, because what I am about to show you in the next part of this message is going to explain exactly why your suffering was not random, why the length of it was not an accident, why God allowed it to go this deep and this long, and what He has been building inside you with every single day of it. But before we go there, if you know what it feels like to cry where nobody can hear you, if you know what it feels like to carry a smile that costs you everything, if you have ever whispered to God in the dark and wondered if anyone was listening, type this right now. He saw my tears, because He did. Every single one. Do not leave this message. What comes next is the part that finally explains why the suffering had to last this long, and why that very suffering is now becoming the evidence God will use to move powerfully in your life. Stay with me. The story is just beginning to open. Let me ask you something nobody else has been bold enough to ask you. What if the exhaustion you've been carrying, the kind that sleep doesn't fix, isn't weakness? What if it's the sound of a system that was never supposed to run this way? Because here's the truth that will shake you to your core. You haven't been living your life. You've been running someone else's program. Think about this. From the moment the enemy touched your story, the betrayal, the loss, the diagnosis, the rejection, he didn't just hurt you, he installed something. He uploaded damaged settings directly into how you see yourself, how you expect God to move, how you wake up every single morning. And those settings have been running on autopilot ever since. Survival mode, still running. Scarcity mode, still running. Fear mode, still running. Betrayal memory mode, still running. Delay expectation mode, the one that whispers it's probably not going to happen for me, still running. Proverbs 23:7 says it plainly, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." The enemy understood that scripture long before you did. He didn't need to destroy your future. He only needed to corrupt your settings, because a person running on damaged code will block their own blessings without ever knowing why. That is what happened to you. And that ends tonight. Because God is not showing up tonight as a counselor. He is not arriving as a comforter, bringing tissue and kind words. Tonight, He is entering your life as a divine engineer, walking straight past the surface, straight past the symptoms, going directly to the source code. He is not here to negotiate with the old settings. He is here to delete them. And right now, in the heavenly control room, the place where your name is written, where your days were numbered, before you drew your first breath, God is initiating 5 resets simultaneously. Reset 1, your finances. From barely enough to divinely sustained. The spirit of lack that has followed your family line, that made you apologize for your own needs, that kept you one emergency away from collapse. God is overwriting it. Philippians 4:19 is not a suggestion. My God shall supply all your needs. All. Not some, not occasionally, all. Reset 2, your relationships. From toxic entanglement to holy clarity. The people who drained you, manipulated you, smiled at your face and spoke against your name, God is already removing access. And the divine connections He has been preparing, the ones aligned with your next chapter, are being released. Reset 3, your health. From depletion to renewal. Isaiah 40:31 says, those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Not recover it, not borrow it, renew it, brand new. Heaven doesn't patch tired bodies, heaven rebuilds them. Reset 4, your purpose. From confusion to assignment. You have spent years wondering if it's too late, if your best contribution already passed. God is about to show you that every delay was curriculum. Every detour was preparation. Your assignment is not behind you. It is waiting for the reset to complete. Reset 5, your timeline. From perpetual delay to divine acceleration. What took others 10 years, God can compress into 1 season for you. He is not bound by your calendar. He is bound only by His covenant. And His covenant over your life has never expired. 5 areas, 5 simultaneous resets happening tonight. But lean in close, because this is the part most preachers won't tell you. Every reset triggers resistance. The moment God begins rewriting your settings, hell notices. And the enemy fights hardest, not when you're at your lowest, but when heaven is about to change everything. That attack you felt last week, that sudden wave of hopelessness that made no sense, that's not random. That is the sound of a system fighting the upgrade. Stay with me. Because later in this message, I'm going to show you exactly how to stand when the resistance comes, and why the attack is actually your confirmation that the reset is already in progress. But first, I need you to understand the magnitude of what God is doing right now. Tonight, God is not trying to repair the old version of you. He is closing the file on who pain forced you to become. He is deleting the damaged code the enemy spent years writing into your story. He is installing the life heaven designed before the wound ever happened, before the loss, before the disappointment, before the night you questioned whether God even remembered your name. That version of you, whole, purposed, sustained, and unafraid, has never stopped existing in heaven's blueprint. Tonight, it begins to exist in your reality. If you believe God is resetting your life tonight, right now, in this very moment, type these words, divine reset. And if you know someone whose soul is hanging by a thread tonight, don't keep this word to yourself. Share it, because some people won't find their way back without you putting this directly in their hands. The reset has begun, and what comes next will show you why the pain had to last exactly as long as it did. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you next, most preachers won't say this out loud. When God begins to move in your life, the first thing you will feel is not relief. It is resistance. Here is the truth nobody prepares you for. The moment heaven begins resetting your life, the enemy doesn't retreat, he accelerates. He knows what you don't know yet, that the shift has already started. and a desperate enemy is a dangerous enemy. So he comes at you fast, hard, personal. Suddenly, your phone rings with bad news. Suddenly, an old argument resurfaces from nowhere. Suddenly, your body flares up with pain you thought was behind you. Suddenly, the loneliness you managed during the day becomes unbearable at 3 in the morning. Suddenly, the memories come back, the failures, the regrets, the faces of people who hurt you, all rushing in at once like a flood. And the enemy whispers his favorite lie. See? Nothing changed. God didn't move. You got your hopes up again. Don't you believe it? Job 23:10 says this, and write it on the wall of your heart. He knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I shall come forth as gold. Gold doesn't become gold in a comfortable room. Gold becomes gold in fire. And the hottest moment of the furnace is not the beginning. It is the moment just before the transformation completes. You are not burning up, chosen one. You are being refined. Think about this. When a building is being renovated, a beautiful brownstone right here in New York, before the new floors go in, the old ones get torn out. Before the fresh walls rise, the rotting ones come down. And for a stretch of days, that building looks worse than it did before the workers arrived. A passerby glances at it and says, "What a shame. Look at the mess." But the architect looks at the same building and says, "Right on schedule." God is your architect. And what looks like a mess to everyone watching your life right now, he is calling it right on schedule. When your computer runs a deep system reboot, the screen goes completely dark first. Not because the machine is broken, because the system is rebuilding itself at a level deeper than the surface can show. That darkness on your screen, that is not failure. That is the reset happening. Some of you right now, your screen is dark. Your life feels like it powered down and you don't know if it's coming back. But I need you to hear this with every fiber of your faith. The darkness is not the outcome. The darkness is the process. And beloved, I need to speak to you directly now, especially those of you who have lived long enough to be tired. Those of you who have prayed through decades. Those of you who buried spouses, buried dreams, buried versions of yourself you thought would never return. When trouble spikes during a divine reset, older believers often make one of two mistakes. They either panic and start running back to what God just freed them from, or they go silent. They stop praying, stop declaring, stop expecting, because the pain feels like confirmation that they were foolish to hope. Both responses do the same thing. They stall the very breakthrough that already has your name on it. Do not run back. Do not go silent. The enemy is pressing buttons that no longer control you. He just doesn't know it yet. And every time you choose to stay, every time you choose to trust, every time you refuse to quit, you are proving to hell that his access to your life has been revoked. Scripture says in Galatians 6-9, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not give up." Not if we perform perfectly. Not if we never doubt. If we do not give up. That is the only requirement for the harvest. Still standing, still breathing, still here. You are still here. Do not judge the reset by the static. Do not mistake the interruption for defeat. The darkness may intensify for a moment, but it cannot outvote what God has already approved. Heaven has already signed off on your breakthrough. The enemy can make noise. He cannot make it stop. If you are in that battle right now, if today felt like the heaviest day in recent memory, don't you dare panic. Don't you dare close this message. Type it right now. I will not break in the dark. Let heaven record that declaration. Let the enemy hear it. Let your own spirit be strengthened by the sound of your refusal to surrender. Stay with me, because in the next section, I'm going to show you exactly how to cooperate with what God is doing, because there is one mistake people make in the middle of a divine reset that delays everything God already started. And I don't want you to make it. Can I be honest with you right now? Not preacher honest, not platform honest, but the kind of honest that only comes from someone who has watched too many good people delay their own healing, not because God was slow, but because they kept going back. Here is the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Some of you are not stuck because the enemy is too strong. You are stuck because you became comfortable in the wreckage. You learned how to survive in the pain. You decorated around it. You scheduled your days through it. You introduced yourself by it. And now, even while you're praying for a new season, part of you is still holding the old one, like it owes you something. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. You pray for peace every morning. Then you spend the afternoon replaying every conversation that hurt you word for word, like a courtroom transcript you've memorized for 20 years. You ask God for breakthrough. Then you speak defeat before noon. Nothing ever changes for me. I'm too old. It's too late. I've been through too much. You beg heaven for new relationships, but you're still emotionally married to someone who left or someone who never truly arrived. You ask God to move in your home, but your home is still decorated for grief, still carrying the emotional furniture of a season that ended years ago. Photographs of betrayal on the walls, reminders of failure on the shelves. The spirit of a dead season still sitting at your kitchen table like an uninvited guest you never found the courage to remove. Chosen one, you cannot wear winter clothing in spring and wonder why you feel overheated. Hebrews 12:1 says it plainly. Let us lay aside every weight, not some weights, not the comfortable ones, every weight. The word lay aside in the original Greek is apotithemi. It means to deliberately put off, like stripping off a garment. It is not passive. It is not accidental. It is a decision. God is not asking you to understand everything before you release it. He is asking you to release it before you understand, because that is what faith actually looks like. And here is where I need to stop and ask you something that might be the most important question you hear tonight. What if the pain stayed longer than it should have, not because God forgot you, but because you learned how to worship it? Not worship with music, not worship with words, but worship with your attention, worship with your time, worship with your identity. When something occupies the center of your life, defines how you see yourself, and shapes every decision you make, that is worship. And some of you have been giving that kind of devotion to your suffering for years. Philippians 4:7 promises a peace that surpasses understanding, but you cannot receive what you refuse to make room for. You are not waiting on God anymore. God is waiting on your agreement. He has already prepared the new. He has already positioned the shift. He has already spoken the word over your life. But he is standing at the door of a room you have not yet cleared out. Think about it. You cannot move new furniture into a room that is still full. You cannot receive a new identity while you're still signing your name to the old one. You cannot walk into spring dragging winter behind you. The miracle is not delayed. The room is not ready. So tonight, right here, right now, this is your moment of practical surrender. Stop agreeing with hopeless language. Stop rehearsing the worst version of your story. Stop entertaining fear while praying for peace. Stop revisiting what God has already closed. Stop keeping the emotional relics of seasons that are finished. Choose silence over panic. Choose worship over obsessive analysis. Pray with authority, not only anguish, because a child of God does not beg for what the Father has already signed over to them. They receive it, they declare it, they walk into it. Say it with me right now, out loud. Let the walls of your room hear it. I release what pain taught me to worship. Say it again like you mean it. I release what pain taught me to worship. That declaration just did something in the spirit you cannot fully see yet. Because here is what nobody told you, and this is the part that will carry you into the next section of tonight's message. When you release the old, God does something powerful in the empty space. He doesn't leave it vacant. He doesn't leave you hollow. He moves in. And what he brings into that cleared out, surrendered, consecrated space is not a patch. It is not a repair. It is not a temporary fix to get you through another hard season. What God brings into the empty space is something so precise, so personal, so supernaturally fitted to your story that the only word for it is restoration. But restoration has a sound, and in the next moment of tonight's message you are going to hear it. Stay with me. The empty space is about to become holy ground. Can I tell you something that nobody warns you about? When God finally moves in your life, the first thing he sends is not money. It is not a phone call. It is not a door swinging open in the middle of the afternoon. The first thing God sends is peace. And if you don't know what to look for, you will miss it. You have been waiting for the earthquake. You have been watching for the fire. You have been scanning the horizon for the dramatic sign, the sudden reversal, the unmistakable miracle that proves heaven heard you. But God whispered something to Elijah that he is whispering to you right now. He was not in the wind. He was not in the earthquake. He was not in the fire. He was in the still small voice. 1 Kings 19:12. That stillness you felt this week, the one you almost dismissed as exhaustion that was not emptiness, that was arrival. Here is what true surrender looks like from the inside. It does not feel like victory. Not at first. It feels like a quieting, like the volume of your fear being turned down 3 notches without you touching the dial. It feels like waking up and realizing you did not immediately catastrophize the morning. It feels like an old trigger, a name, a memory, a number in your bank account losing just a little of its power over your chest. Something shifted. You cannot explain it. You are not even sure when it happened. That is God rearranging the interior of your soul before he rearranges your circumstances. The fresh oil does not announce itself. It simply makes the engine run differently than it did yesterday. David wrote in Psalm 46, verse 10, "Be still and know that I am God." He did not say, "Be still and figure it out." He did not say, "Be still and plan your next move." He said, "Be still and know." There is a knowledge that does not come through thinking. It comes through surrender. It settles into the bones. It does not need to argue. It does not need to prove itself. It simply is. And chosen one, when that kind of knowing arrives in your spirit, when panic stops being your native language, that is the first undeniable proof that your pain is ending. Not the last proof, the first. Think about dawn. The sun has not risen yet. The sky is still dark, but something has shifted in the air. The birds feel it before human eyes can see it. The temperature changes. The atmosphere changes. The night does not end dramatically. It dissolves, slowly, then completely. You are in that moment, right now. You are between the last hour of darkness and the first light of what God has been building while you slept. The stillness you feel is not the absence of God moving. The stillness is the sound of God moving. Now let me ask you something direct, and I need you to sit with this question. When is the last time you gave yourself permission to stop panicking? Not stop caring, not stop believing, stop panicking. Because here is what chronic pain does to the human spirit. And this is true whether you are 30 years old or 80 years old, sitting in a high-rise on the Upper East Side, or a quiet house in the middle of the country. Chronic pain rewires your nervous system to expect disaster. You stop praying for breakthrough and start bracing for impact every single day. And God is saying tonight that cycle is being broken inside you first. Before the finances shift, before the diagnosis changes, before the relationship heals, before the door opens. The first miracle is not around you. The first miracle is within you. Still water does not mean shallow water. After the most violent storm in history, God sent a dove to Noah, and the dove returned with an olive branch, not a burning torch, not a thunderclap, a branch. Peace arrives quietly, but it arrives carrying proof that the flood is receding. Your peace right now is that branch. Do not throw it away because it does not look like what you expected. And then chosen one, Hear me clearly, and then comes the move. The one that touches your finances. The one that restores what was taken from your health. The one that heals what has been broken in your family for longer than you can remember. The one that repositions your purpose in ways that will make people around you stop and stare, because they will not have a single natural explanation for what they are witnessing in your life. That move is already in motion. You cannot see it yet, but your spirit can feel it, because peace arrived before proof. And it always does. Take a breath right now. Put your hand over your heart if you can, and whisper. These words mean every single one of them. Lord, let peace arrive before proof. Hold that, because what comes next is where heaven stops being a concept and becomes the most real thing you have ever witnessed in your own life. Let me tell you what God's movement actually looks like. Because too many people are waiting for thunder. They're waiting for lightning splitting the sky, for an angel standing at the foot of their bed, for a miraculous moment so dramatic it couldn't be mistaken. But that is not always how the Most High moves. Sometimes God moves like a locked room that suddenly has a key in the door. You didn't put it there. Nobody else did either. You just wake up one morning and the door is open, and you realize He was here. Some of you have been financially pressed for so long, you forgot what breathing felt like. Not broke in a careless way, pressed. The kind of pressure that comes from doing everything right and still watching the numbers not add up. Still watching the bills stack higher than your faith some nights. Hear me clearly. God is not sending you a lottery ticket. He is sending you an alignment, a phone call you didn't expect, a door that opens in a direction you stopped looking, a connection that carries provision you could never have engineered on your own. Deuteronomy 8:18 says it plainly. It is God who gives you the power to create wealth, not the economy, not your employer, not your circumstances, God. And when God decides to release what He's been holding in reserve for you, no system on earth can block it. Some of you have been physically depleted, not just tired, bone tired, the kind of exhaustion that makes 70 feel like 90, the kind that settles into your joints and convinces you that strength is something that belongs to younger people now. But Ezekiel stood in a valley of dry bones, and God said, "Can these bones live?" And they did, not metaphorically, not poetically. Actually, breath entered what was dead. Sinew grew on what was bare. The body God created does not forget how to receive His power. The same God who breathed life into dust in Genesis is breathing into your body tonight. Some of you are in a home that doesn't feel like peace anymore, a relationship that became a slow drain, a bond that was supposed to protect you but became the thing that wounded you deepest. God is breaking that clean, not with chaos, not with destruction, but with a divine severance so precise only a surgeon could have done it. Some chains don't break loud. Some chains dissolve quietly in the night, and you wake up one morning and realize that weight is gone. That person no longer has access to your peace. That toxic pattern no longer has a seat at your table. That is God moving. And for those of you who have been waiting on clarity, waiting to know what to do next, which direction to take, whether the decision you've been postponing is the right one, hear this. Isaiah 30:21 says, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way. Walk in it.'" The confusion is lifting. The fog is clearing. Not because you finally figured it out, but because God decided it was time to show you. Think of a train that's been delayed for years. The platform is full of people who've been waiting. Some of them sat down. Some of them walked away. Some of them stopped checking the schedule altogether. But the train was never cancelled. It was being rerouted. And rerouted trains don't arrive on your original schedule. They arrive on God's schedule. And when they pull in, they carry everything that was promised on the original ticket. Your train is pulling into the station tonight. Now I need you to understand something that shifts everything. This breakthrough coming toward you, it is not only for your relief, it is not only so you can exhale, it is not only so you can sleep peacefully for the first time in years. The breakthrough is for your assignment. God doesn't restore people so they can retire into comfort. He restores people so they can carry something, so they can stand somewhere and say, I was in that valley. I know what it costs. And I know the God who brought me out. Your pain is not ending in silence. It is ending in evidence. The place that bled the longest is the place where his hand will be seen the clearest. The wound that went deepest is the place his glory will shine the brightest. What hurt you most is becoming the very testimony that sets someone else free. What God is doing is going to touch what hurt you most, and the world is going to see it. If you receive this, if something in your spirit just said yes, type it right now. God, move in my life. And share this with somebody who has almost given up, but is still secretly praying. Because what comes next in this message, what God is about to reveal in the final layers, is the part that answers the question you've been afraid to ask out loud. Why did the pain have to last this long? Stay with me. The answer is coming, and it will change the way you see everything. Let me ask you something nobody has asked you in a long time. What if every single thing that hurt you, every loss, every betrayal, every night you cried alone, every door that slammed in your face, every prayer that seemed to vanish into silence, what if none of it was wasted? Not one tear, not one scar, not one sleepless night. What if God was not just allowing your pain, he was recording it? Because here is the truth that religious comfort has never told you straight. Your suffering was not random punishment. It was not divine neglect. It was not evidence that God forgot your name. Your pain was data. Heaven was gathering evidence, evidence of your trust when trust made no sense, evidence of your mercy when bitterness would have been justified, evidence of your faithfulness when the reward was invisible, evidence of your endurance when everyone else walked away. And now tonight that record is becoming your commission. Chosen one, I need you to hear this next part, not just with your ears. Hear it with the part of you that has been quietly wondering whether your best days are behind you. They are not. You are not a leftover chapter. You are not a faded voice. You are not too old, too tired, too damaged, or too late. The Bible says in Joel 2:25, I will restore to you the years the locust has eaten. God did not say some of the years. He said the years, all of them. Every season that felt stolen, every decade that felt wasted, every morning you woke up and wondered what you were still doing here. He is restoring all of it, with interest. Think about what a lighthouse looks like after decades of standing against the ocean. It is weathered, salt-cracked, worn by wind and storm. It has watched 100 ships come close to disaster. It has been shaken by waves that would have destroyed something younger, something untested. But here is the thing about that lighthouse. Its light does not dim because of the storms it survived. Its light burns brighter because nothing has been able to put it out. That is you, chosen one. You are not worn out. You are weathered into wisdom. And this broken world does not need more polished voices with no scars. It needs you. It needs someone who has walked through fire and still says God is faithful. It needs someone whose faith was not built in a classroom, but carved in the midnight hours of real life. There is an oak tree outside of the city, the kind that has been rooted in the same ground for over 100 years. Younger trees around it have fallen, storms have come and gone, seasons have turned, but that oak is still standing. And here is what nobody talks about. The roots of that tree go deeper than any storm can reach. That is what your years of endurance produced. Roots that go so deep that what shook everyone else around you could not move you. That is not weakness. That is authority. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 1-4 that God comforts us in our troubles so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. Did you catch that? Your comfort has a destination. It is not just for you. It was never only for you. God pulled you through the valley so that when someone else stands at the entrance of that same valley, trembling, terrified, ready to quit, they will look up and see you standing there, already on the other side, already carrying proof that it is survivable. Your pain was not pointless. Your pain was preparation for somebody else's survival. Chosen one, let me say this directly. You did not survive all of that just to sit in the ashes and remember it. You did not endure decades of hardship just to fade quietly into the background of someone else's story. You survived because somebody else right now, tonight, in this very generation, is going to live by the wisdom God carved into your life. Your scars gave you language that smooth people do not have. Your suffering gave you compassion that comfortable people cannot fake. Your endurance gave you authority that no seminary degree, no title, no platform can manufacture. You are a battle-tested general, and God is not retiring you. He is redeploying you. The oil that was pressed out of every hard year, it is ready to pour now. Your voice, aged by fire, is not diminished by time. It is deepened by it. Your pain is ending, but your purpose, chosen one, your purpose is just now stepping forward. If you know in your spirit that God kept you alive for more than survival, that there is still something holy inside you waiting to be released, type this right now. I still have purpose. Because what comes next in this message is not just comfort. What comes next is the moment heaven places the decree over your life, and nothing on this earth will be able to reverse it. Let me speak to you one more time before this night is over. Not as a preacher behind a pulpit, not as a voice on a screen, but as someone who knows what it costs to hold on when everything inside you wanted to let go. You made it to this moment, and that alone is not small. That is sacred. The night was dark, but God was present. The pain was deep, but it was not meaningless. The delay was long, but it was not denial. And the reset, the one heaven promised at the beginning of this message, it has already begun. I need you to hear what I am about to say with every cell in your body. God does not waste a single night of suffering, not one. The Bible says in Romans 8:28, all things work together for good. Not some things, not the convenient things, all things. That includes the year you lost everything. That includes the diagnosis that shook your foundation. That includes the relationship that ended without explanation. That includes the prayer you whispered at 3 inches the morning that you thought dissolved into silence. None of it dissolved. Every word was recorded. And tonight, heaven is reading it back as a verdict, in your favor. You walked into this message carrying weight that wasn't yours to carry forever. Grief that embedded itself so deep you forgot what lightness felt like. Fear that moved in quietly and started paying rent. Exhaustion so chronic, it stopped feeling like exhaustion and started feeling like personality. But I am here to tell you those are not your permanent settings. God is standing at the control room of your life tonight, and He is not holding a patch. He is holding a reset key, and His hand is already turning it. So right now, in this moment, I am breaking agreement with everything that held you. I break agreement with fear. Fear of being forgotten, fear of dying without seeing the promise, fear that the best years are behind you. That agreement is broken tonight. I break agreement with hopelessness, the kind that masquerades as realism, the kind that says, this is just how life is now, that lie ends here. I break agreement with grief that was never properly buried, with scarcity that taught you to shrink, with confusion that kept you circling the same mountain for decades, with exhaustion that stole your mornings before they even began. Every cycle, broken tonight. And into every place those chains once occupied, I speak peace. The peace that Paul described in Philippians 4-7, the peace that surpasses all understanding. Not the peace that makes sense, the peace that doesn't have to. I speak restoration over what was dismantled, clarity over what was clouded, strength into bones that have been weary far too long, provision into accounts and households that have been running on empty. And I speak holy acceleration because God is not only restoring the years, He is redeeming the time. Close your eyes for just one moment. See it. The tombstone season, the season where dreams were buried, where hope was laid to rest, where you stopped expecting. That season is ending. A resurrection season is standing at your door. Dawn is breaking at the edge of the longest battlefield you have ever walked, and you are still standing on it. Not fallen, not finished, standing. The courtroom of heaven has rendered its verdict. Every accusation the enemy filed against your future dismissed. Every case built on your failures, your age, your losses, your silence thrown out. Because the judge of all the earth has looked at your faithfulness in the dark and said, "Enough. This one is mine." And what is mine does not stay buried. Chosen one. Tonight is not the end of your story. Tonight is the end of the version of you that believed pain would have the last word. God's move in your life will not be small, and it will not be late. The cycle breaks here. The night does not keep you. God does. And when the sun rises tomorrow, and it will rise, you will not step into the same life you carried into this night. You will step into something that has been waiting for you longer than your suffering has lasted. Something stronger than your fear. Something wider than your loss. Something God built in the silence while you were wondering if He was listening. He was listening. He was building. And now He is moving. If this message is yours, and your spirit already knows whether it is, type it right now. The cycle breaks tonight. Subscribe and stand in faith for the new season God has already written over your life. Send this to someone who needs to know that heaven has not forgotten them. One share could be the word that keeps someone from giving up tonight. And when God moves, come back and testify. Because your story will not just be yours. Your story will become proof for somebody else still sitting in the dark, wondering if God is real. You are the answer to their question. Go. Walk into your dawn.